Hello, my friends. Today we are going to make this cart page. So to make this cart page, first we need to create an empty cart page, just this empty page, and then we need to create a route for this cart page, so we can come inside this page from the other page. After that, we will create a header tab for cart page. Header tab is this one. So if we come inside this landing page, we can go to cart page by clicking the header tab. So after that, we will fetch the products stored in the cart from the database. So first, we will make the empty cart page. So go to our text editor here. First, click the components and then views, and then we just made the folder inside the views folder named cart page, and inside the cart page folder we will make the file named cart page and JS and RFCE for functional components. So put this one in here, and now we are going to make a route for cart page. So go to app.js in here and copy and paste it and import cart page from views, cart page and cart page. Copy this component and paste it. And in here, only the logged in users can come inside the cart page. So we will do the true for these options. And then for the location, we can just say user and cart. So we already made the route for the cart page. So now it's time to create a header tab for cart page. So we go to right menu. Before making it, first I want to run our application. So turn on our terminal here and type the npm run dev. So now we are inside our application. You can see this cart page that comes from the cart page in here. So first we need to make the tab in here. So go to right menu. So if you see here, tab for the upload and tab for the logout, upload and logout. So we want to make the cart page tab between here. So here, first copy this one, and key name will be cart, and pass is the user and cart, because the inside the app.js we use this cart user and cart, so that's why we need to write the cart user and cart in here too. In here we want to use this icon that comes from anti-design, so we need to use the anti-design for that. So in here icon, and we also need to get the badge. Badge is for this red badge, so we need to bring that too from the anti-design. So first inside in here icon and type shopping cart and style font size 30 and margin bottom 3, this, and we also need to give the style for the link, and margin right -22, and the card for color 66477777. So save it and go back to our application here, so you can see this one, but the position is really weird because we don't have this batch yet, so we need to put the batch in here too. So for the batch, batch count 0 for now, and we need to put this batch in here. Okay, save it and then go back our application again. I need to give one number for this count, so come back so you can see So it looks same as this one. So now it's good to go. So next one we need to do is fetch the products information stored in the cart from the database. So first to go back to our text editor and then go to cart page. So whenever we fetch some data, that we use the user effect. So even this time we will use this one and delete the unnecessary parts. This user effect comes from the React. Before we keep doing it from here, so I just want to let you know one thing. If you just come in here, there is a user collection. So inside the user collection, we put this cart information in here, and if we see this the product collection, inside the product collection, there are really detailed information for one product. So inside this user collection, we didn't put all of the information in here, even though there are more information inside this for the product. But in here, there is no quantity information. So, but if we come in here, when we populate the data, there is also this part for the quantity. So not just the price or not just the image, we also need to have this quantity. That means, so only by fetching the data from the product collection, we actually cannot populate this quantity information. So we need to use these two collection together to populate all the data in here. So it's more complicated than the other fetching process. So I hope you can keep this in mind. We need to use these both of user and product collection to populate all of the data for this page. So we come back to our application in here. Inside in here, if we see our user state inside the Redux, we have this cart information inside the Redux here, two product for these two product. So first we need to use the cart information store inside the Redux store, right? Cart items. So if props and user and user data and props and user data and cart. So inside this user state, or only when we have more than one cart or more than one product inside the cart, we will do something. And if the props and user data and cart and length is more than 0, like, so when we have this cart and when we have more than one product inside the cart field, we will do something. So user and user data and cart, and for each item, this cart item here, this one is the props, cart item push item that ID. So we inside this cart item array, we put all of the products ID that store inside this cart field, this ID and this ID inside this cart item array. And then by using these cart items, we will do the Axios. But from last video, when we do HTTP request, we use a Redux. So even in this section, we are going to use a Redux. So instead of just doing the Axios right in here directly, we will do or use this patch that comes from the React Redux. So const dispatch, use dispatch. So by using this dispatch function, so inside this one, and we just make the get cart items. So inside this here, we will put this cart item, and we also put all of this information, which is this all of the information inside the cart field 1 and 2 in here. So we also need to bring this one from actions and user action. First, copy this one, get cart item, because we need to make this one inside the user action. So copy this name and then go to user action and then go to the bottom. So we just copy this one and then paste it. We copy this one and paste it this one. So first we will make this the cart get cart item function. So we have two parameters to pass in. Go back to cart page. First one is cart item, and this the next one is all of the cart information. So we will name it cart items and in user cart. This will be the get method. And now for the path, now we use like the API users, but this time we will use the products controller. So API product, and then product by ID. So ID, and we need to put cart items, because inside the cart items there are all the cart item IDs, this ID and this ID. So we put all of the cart IDs in here, and then the type will be array, because last time when we get the product information, but at the time we just used only one cart ID, so we did like type and then single. But this time it can be more than just the one ID inside this cart item parameter, so we need to change this single into array. We go to product controller to make this API. So go to product routes. In here, you can see this one, products by ID, and then in here types and array. So now it's time to do something inside in here, so that we didn't do in the last time. So first what we need to do is, the last time we just used the single ID, so we put this one inside in here to get single ID's product information. But now we couldn't just get single ID like this, so we make one variable in here, IDs, and then request and query and ID and split, and we will split by this one, because you see if we have more than one IDs, it will be separated by this comma. So we will do like this, and inside the product IDs in here change this one as an empty array, and inside this empty array we put all of the IDs in here. So product IDs and then IDs and map and item, just return item, and then we put this product ID in here. So that's all we need to change for this API. So like this, so next thing we need to do is that we need to go back to our user action. So there are more things we need to do. So by doing something in here, we will put that information inside the a Redux store in here, just to make one more field named the cart detail. So we didn't have this cart detail before, but by using this cart detail, we will just populate all of this information in here. Inside this the cart field, we only have three data, just ID, quantity, and date. So we cannot just populate this one just with the data. So that's why we need to make this cart detail, and then we put all of the data in here inside the cart data. But as I said before, not only by this product collection, we also need to use the user collection, because even though we have a lot of product information in here, but in here we don't have this quantity information. So now it's time to make this cart detail part in here. So make cart detail inside Redux store. So in here, so we need to add quantity data to product information that come from product collection. So we got this product information from this one, this API, and then this one send this product information. So we get that in here inside this response. So first we are going to just delete this part, and in here inside this user car, and then for each, and inside this user car we have this user cart information, this one and this one, and cart item, so response and data, and for each product detail. So response data, this one that comes from here. So all of the product information that come from the product collection. So product detail and index. So if cart item is an ID, cart item from in here, and this one is the same as the product detail dot ID. So response and data and I, so in for the index, and the quantity is the cart item and quantity. This one comes from the here inside this cart field. So we have this quantity information. So that the data that comes from the product collection in here, we put this quantity information inside of the response data. So putting the data in here, so we return response data. We also need to put this curly brace in here and here. Okay. So this response data that even has this quantity ID for the product information, we put this response data inside the user reducer. And we are inside the user reducer. First, we actually need to change this one. This one is not the add to cart user. So this one type name will be get cart items and user, and put this one in here. And first we need to go to types, and here export const get cart items and get cart items user, and user reducer case is get cart items return in here. And inside the cart item in here, we need to make this cart detail. So just we need to spread or the initial state in here, and then we need to put a cart detail that comes from the action and payload, which is this this one, response data that goes to in here. So we save it, and we go to our application in here. So now I'm going to just turn on our Redux extension and go to state, user state, and in here. So now we don't even have the cart field. There is a reason why we couldn't get these two informations, even though feels like we did everything for them. So if we come in here, we go to user allows in here, and if we come to this us, so what this does is whenever we change the page or whenever we request the H method, it always goes through this one. This is for the authentication. But in here, there are all of the information about the name or email or role or image. So after going through this one, we put this all of the information inside the Redux in here. Is admin, is us, or email or name like this. We put all of the information in here by using this one. But we didn't put this cart information and then history information in here. So we need to put the cart information in here, cart, and then history for later purpose and request and user history. Even though we have this cart inside the user's model in here, we put this one in the last section, cart and history, but we didn't have these two things in here. That's why we couldn't get any of these information inside the Redux store in here. So first I'm going to save it after changing these two one, and then go back to our application and then just a refresh page, and we turn on this one. So now we can have this cart information in here, but we still don't have this cart detail information. It's like this one, cart detail information. So we need this cart detail information so we can populate them in here. Okay, I found the reason. There was inside in here, we actually needed to put this props user and user data. So put this one, and then we go back to our application and refresh the page, and then go to see this one, state, and now we can have this cart detail information in here. So we already faced this problem last time. So if we don't have this one, only when we have this props and user data, we will trigger this part. But if we only trigger this one when this dorm is loaded, we don't have this props user data. So that's why we need to put this one in here. So not only just this DOM is loaded, but also after that one, if we have this user data, we can trigger this one. So that's why by triggering this dispatch, we can have the user cart detail information. So these are all the things we wanted to do for this section. Thank you for watching this long video, and see you in our next section. Thank you.